Welcome to Comics with Dan. This is the Comics Commute number 17. So I read a decent amount. I actually read quite a bit and then didn't make as many videos as I had hoped, but that's fine because I can just talk about them here. One of the nice things about having a sort of weekly wrap-up video. I read my pulls last week, which were Batman Superman World's Finest number 27, Void Rivals number 9. I don't know if I was forgetting anything else. Nightwing 114. So I did reviews for Nightwing 114. I also did a review for Something Is Killing the Children 37. So you can check those out. But I read. I had a review ready for Void Rivals number 9, but lost it. So I will be talking about that here in lieu of that. And what else did I do? Oh, I read something. I got a review copy of something called Project Cryptid. It was Project Cryptid number 9, and so it's an anthology series about these mythical creatures, which I'll talk about that. And I think that's about it. Maybe a few other things here and there, but that's kind of the main gist of what I read. So let's get into it. I read Batman Superman World's Finest number 27, which I was just saying yesterday that I'm amazed that we're already, it feels like it wasn't that long ago that issue number 1 came out, but we're already at number 27, which is cool. There have not been like any delays on that book, and I think probably because of how successful it's been. But yeah, it's just been great. This was the second issue in that implosion arc, and I swear, at the beginning of this arc, I was just like, I don't think this is going to be any good. I think that it's really hard for creative teams to capture the goofiness of old books without, seeming like they're trying too hard. So I just didn't think it was going to be any good. I thought it was going to be overly ridiculous, but it was awesome. And I shouldn't have doubted. I mean, the whole appeal of World's Finest has been recapturing that Silver Age feel. So I shouldn't have doubted Wade and Mora, but here we are. It's just awesome. If you want to avoid spoilers, then skip ahead here. Batman and Superman and I believe Batmite, maybe Mr. Mxyzptlk, are trapped in like the 6th dimension or 7th or something like that. But the very best part was Mxyzptlk is like, hey Jimmy, you've been turned into like 50 different things in your lifetime. So those are all lying dormant in you somewhere. And he's like, let's bring them back out. And so we get like Jimmy with superpowers, werewolf Jimmy. It's this Jimmy that can stretch like Mr. Fantastic. It's amazing. It's just the funniest. It's so cool. And then Dan Mora obviously does a fantastic job. He does a really good job drawing Jimmy Olsen regardless, but him in all these different forms is just amazing. There's a really cool splash page that shows it. Yeah, so I gave that one 4.5 out of 5. It was great. I do feel like I've gotten a little more strict with my my ratings since the beginning of that series. I gave like the first 12 issues of that book 5 out of 5 stars. And I think that maybe back then I would have given this 5 stars too, but I don't know. To me, it was just as good as any other 5-star book. So either way, if you're not on it, get on it. Void Rivals number 9. was insane. I don't think this is exactly a spoiler, because the cover of the book kind of tells you everything you need to know about it. But Springer shows up, and so I'm not like some big Transformers guru, so I didn't know who Springer was. My main experience is having watched the 80s cartoon a decent amount, and I've seen like the first Michael Bay movie, but so Springer shows up and fights Proximus, and that's pretty much most of the issue, which sounds like it's a bit much, but it's phenomenal. If you're reading Transformers but you're not reading Void Rivals, you should buy Void Rivals number 9 by itself, just because it's a really cool battle between Proximus and Springer. So the most impressive part of this is the sound effects that DeFelice puts in this battle. It's just awesome. The sound effects in this battle they take it to a completely different level. It goes so well with the art, which I had chatted with Russ Wooten, the letterer on the book, and he was saying that can be one of the most challenging things for a letterer, is to get the letters to the sound effects to match up with the art well. So I imagine it's always helpful to have the artist do the sound effects, which is what happened in this case. But Russ Wooten does the sound effects on Transformers for the Corona, the books that Jorge Corona's on. So DWJ did his own sound effects for the first 6 issues. But if you look, they haven't dropped in quality at all. So Russ Wooten he's still, even sound effects aside, he's one of the top letterers out there right now. So, but either way, Void Rivals, I think you should be reading Void Rivals anyway. But if you're not, and you're reading Transformers, it is well worth picking up Void Rivals number 9, as it's almost a Transformers book with how much Springer is in it. So definitely worth grabbing if you haven't already. Yeah, so Project Cryptid, particularly number 9. So I got a review copy of this. The book's published by Ahoy Comics, which, to be fair, I have not read, and I don't think I've read anything from Ahoy Comics up till this point, but I'd like to, so I'm glad that they're sending me stuff now. But yeah, Project Cryptid's a really cool idea for an anthology series. It's essentially an anthology series about these mythical beasts, which I guess that's what a cryptid is, but in this case, there's a Yeti in the first story, and the second story focuses on the Puka, which is an Irish shape-shifting legend, right? So I was excited to pick this up, and overall, the more I've had time to think about it, the more I've enjoyed it. The first story was just so bizarre. I don't know that it was for me. I certainly wasn't the target audience, as the main character was a recently divorced woman who was on this Alaskan expedition thing with two of her friends, and she falls in love with a Yeti, which was it's just so bizarre. But the more I think about it, the funnier it is. So I might reread it, because I think I gave it 3 or 3.5 stars total for the whole book. I might read it again, just because the more I think about it, the funnier that idea is. So Now the second story, and that was all in the solicit for the book, so that's not really spoiling anything, although I would argue that it kind of spoils the main point of it, but there's still other stuff that happens that's pretty good. So the second story was about the puka, which is a Irish shape-shifting legend. I guess one of its main forms is a horse, and so the whole premise of it is kind of trying to capture one of these things, and that was a really good story. I enjoyed that one a lot, and it was pretty funny. So overall, and since it's an anthology, Project Cryptid seems to be like something you could just pick up any issue of and enjoy. So I think that moving forward, I'll probably, if I see issues that appeal to me individually, I might grab them. I don't know that to me it's worth picking up exact issues, but overall, it's a great idea, and I thought it was fun. So I think that's everything that I talked about in the intro. That's part of the problem with this, is that I don't really write down. This isn't a show that I can keep notes in front of me for. It's not exactly safe to be driving around looking at my notes. So I have to rely on remembering what I put in the intro. Oh, so I just did my first live stream last night, and by the time this is released, it'll probably be 2 nights ago. So my wife gave me an idea to do a giveaway based on a code word heard during my next live stream. So I will be scheduling a live stream soon. And what I did last time, which I thought was fun and worked well, was just bagging and boarding live chat, right? And so I'm super behind on bagging and boarding. So and during my last live stream, I ran out of bags and boards, so I still have plenty left to go. So I just set up the camera, bag and board, show the books that I'm putting away, and just chat with people. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'll put out a short kind of saying, okay, which of these books should I give away next? Because I have a handful of them that I'm looking to give away. When you hear the code word on the live stream, email me the code word, and that'll enter you to win the book. So again, order of things. I'll put out a short saying which of these should I give away, and I'll pick one, and in the live stream, I'll say the code word, and then after the live stream, I will select a winner from the people that have messaged me the code word. Upcoming this week on my pull list is Night Thrasher number 4. So my plan is to do a full series review of that book, that 4-issue miniseries, because that's the last issue. And so I plan on doing a review of that full series once that issue number 4 comes out. So keep an eye out for that. Some good stuff this week. I think that's about it. Like the video, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate every single hard-earned subscription that I've been getting, and I appreciate everyone that watches. Check out these other videos here on the screen.